Peter had a wife. Hello, I'm Eddie Lawrence, and here's today's devotional thought. In Mark chapter 1, verses 29 through 31, we have the occasion where Jesus, after having left the synagogue in Capernaum, he and Simon, that is Peter and Andrew and James and John, go to Peter's house. When they arrived there, Jesus becomes aware that Peter's wife's mother, in other words, Peter's mother-in-law, she was sick with a fever. Jesus goes in, takes her by the hand, lifts her up, and she is healed. And the amazing thing about this, of course, the healing, and that's really powerful, but what jumped out to me today is the fact that a lot of times we don't consider that Peter had a wife. He had a mother-in-law too. Sometimes we don't realize these disciples, some of them had families, some of them were married, they may have had wives and children and so forth, and we don't hear a lot about that. But when we read all the stories about the Apostle Peter, you know, the times when he was opening his mouth to change feet, the times he was taking up for Jesus, trying to protect Jesus, he gets it right, he gets it wrong. He's so much like so many of us. But Peter had a wife. Peter had a mama-in-law. And what we see here, Jesus had called Peter to follow him. Now Peter is obediently following Jesus. But also Jesus is stepping into Peter's world, into Peter's life, into Peter's family, and bringing God's blessing. Because he had a sick mama-in-law. We don't know how long she had been sick. We know she had a fever. But Jesus took care of that. You know, when you decide that you're going to follow Jesus, the overflow of your obedience in following Jesus begins to touch other members in your family. Sure, you may make the devil mad and you get some attacks that come and go, but you also, more importantly, you open your world, you open your home, you open your marriage, you open your family to get kissed by heaven and experience God's blessings because you are following Christ. Peter had a wife, Peter had a life, but when Jesus stepped into his world, lots of good stuff started happening, and that will be true for you, dear friend, as well. So just want to encourage you with that, and when you read these Bible stories, these were real-life folks with real-life families and real-life struggles and real-life victories. Yeah, so we can learn so much from the Word. Be blessed. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for sharing this with other folks. I appreciate it.